It is the 27th of July 2025, and we're moving from the frigid South Atlantic and the recently released iceberg A23A to the Northern Hemisphere, where many fires are burning in areas in all of the continents. But here we're taking a look at the United States, and specifically a fire that has been burning since 4th of July around the Grand Canyon. This fire has been named the Dragon Bravo Fire and is burning on the north side of the canyon. What I want to look at in this video is how did this fire start? Apparently on the 4th of July, lightning from a thunderstorm ignited the wildfire in the national park. But I want to check and see if we can find these supposed thunderstorms that lit this fire. The other thing I'd like to look at is the days when things were extremely intense. The peak explosive growth occurred from July 11th to 13th, so that was a few days after the ignition, with gusts of 40 miles per hour. So let's take a look at this. I'm checking out the nighttime NOAA imagery, and the yellow line indicates the rough track of the Grand Canyon, and I've put it back to July 3rd. What this will show is the lights of various towns around here. The main one, Flagstaff, here is the route to the Grand Canyon, at least the one I took a long time ago. And as we go forward, you'll see a couple of lights which are not urban. These are fires, and the first one is up here, and that is the fire we're concerned with. There's a second fire, the Sage Fire, that almost you can barely see, and that's up here. As we go forward, the moon actually comes out and you can reveal the canyon, but at the same time the two fires are also picking up. And it looks like, particularly as was stated in the reports, we had a huge blow up on the 11th of July. You can see the Sage Fire, which is up here, rapidly moving towards the east. And the other fire down here also picked up on that day. It was slightly delayed though, and that's on the 11th to 12th. So it certainly fits roughly with the timing for it being started on the 4th of July. But were there actually thunderstorms at that time? Alright, we're specifically looking at the 4th of July, and the time zone in Arizona is -7 UTC. So I set it to be 7 UTC on the 5th of July. And then going back, this shows the lightning detected by Blitzer tongue in the 24 hours leading up to that time. And specifically, we're looking in this region to see if there are any lightning strikes. At this time was the flooding event in Texas, and you'll see a lot of lightning down there, but keep an eye on up here. There really isn't anything in this time period. However, there is in the time period previously, so possibly it could have been on the 3rd of July, or possibly this wasn't a lightning strike at all. So this is a little bit frustrating because it's got a lot of black bits in between the frames, but I have gotten the geostationary GOES 16 imagery back to the 11th of July, and I've loaded a loop. I just want to mark on the location of the two fires, and they're pretty small to start with, but they pick up big time. And to the north is the Sage Fire and the Dragon Fire to the south. So I'll just play this, and you can see how quickly they picked up on this day. This was a very significant day, and it continued for days after, but this was a very, very rapid spreading day. The winds were picking up quite strong from the west. CSPP provides a different view, better view, on the 13th of July, and this shows the blow up of the fire with some pyrocumulonimbus activity by the looks of things. Finally, let's take a look at the Sentinel-2 imagery, and this is quite revealing. So this goes back to the 25th of June, and as we move forward, remember the fire was supposedly starting on the 4th of July. There's actually no heat signature being detected on the 5th of July, but by the 6th, you see a tiny little heat signature down here. And I think I should get this image and find out exactly where this is located, because this is what led to the fire. Because look at the next image, you see it spreading out, and then by the 15th of July it's moved much further because we had that big blow up we saw in the satellite imagery, and then it spreaded further to the north by the 24th, and then the 25th even further. So yeah, I am just going to do one final thing, which is to check this imagery to determine the exact location on the 7th of July. Well, I mean, I think we've determined where the fire started. It was within this region. But did it start really on the 4th of July? I don't see any heat signature on the 5th of July, which is this image. It only appeared by the 7th of July. Anyway, who knows? I'm gonna download this as a KML, and then we'll see it on Google Earth to determine the latitude and longitude, and then I will leave it with you for further investigation. Actually, I don't have to download the KML, it's listed right here. The latitude is 36.238 about, and then minus 112.1 longitude.